hands, shaking hands.
Yeah. Okay.
Ucapkan beliau Presiden Negeri untuk kesempatan dari Expo lain yang berhubungan Chongqing, yang berhubungan Selangor, yang berhubungan dan satu di Kajun serta tetamu kita daripada Temasek, the Head of Consumer and Real Estate for South Asia, Mr. David Hicks, at the ceremony of BPO Prime, one of our trusts to launch Penang and to realize the expectations and aspirations of becoming a BPO hub has predicted by KPMG. Penang is one of the 31 BPO hubs of the future. But I think what is important is that this is the second major joint venture agreement we have signed with a nationally government-owned company. This follows the signing of the 3 billion ringgit joint venture agreement between Sime Darby Berhad and PDC to build a SME, Small Medium Enterprises International Park at Kawan. And today, as you know, Sime Darby is one of the major JLCs for the Malaysian government. And following that, today we have another major government-owned company, Sime of Singapore, also investing in Penang by signing this joint venture agreement with PDC. So in the space of 1 month, we have 2 major GLC groups from Malaysia and Singapore signing a joint venture agreement with Penang and of course through PDC. So let me first congratulate PDC, Temasek and EDIS on this auspicious occasion of the signing ceremony for the agreements with PDC, Temasek and EDIS for the development of the 1.3 billion ringgit BPO Prime project at Bandar Raya Baru. Agreements signed today, there will be 3 agreements signed today. First, a JV agreement for BPO Prime project between PDC and Temasek. Secondly, a management services agreement between BPO Premier Sdn Bhd and Symbiosis Ventures Management Sdn Bhd. And thirdly, investment promotion services agreement between BPO Premier Sdn Bhd and Symbiosis Ventures Management Sdn Bhd. The BPO Prime project represents a new milestone for Penang as it signifies an international collaboration between PDC, Temasek, and of course, EDIS. Everyone knows Temasek is one of the largest investment companies in the world with a 466 billion dollars portfolio as at 31st March 2015. At current exchange rates, that's almost 1 trillion ringgit. EDIS is a company headquartered in Singapore with offices in Germany and USA, spearheaded by Mr. Philip Yeo, one of Singapore's foremost economic architects. This collaboration is a testimony of the confidence and trust that the international business community have in the future of Penang in terms of its good governance, business prospects, and availability of world-class human talent. This BPO Prime project is located on a 6.8-acre site, of which the PDC present headquarters is located, and BPO Prime will represent the prime business hub in Malaysia's multimedia super corridor at Penang Cyber City 1, Past, with a GDV of gross development value of 1.3 billion and a gross floor area of a minimum 1.6 million square feet. The timeline for construction and completion is from the commencement of work in 2016 with completion in 2019. Now, there is a shortage of Grade A office space for SSO and BPOs in Penang. When we first launched, Penang has a BPO hub. In line with the prediction of Penang as one of the 31 BPO hubs of the future. 31 BPO global hubs of the future. We did not expect the strong response from the services sector. Apart from local MNCs, already here in Penang, we have new entries filling up our Grade A office space, such as AirAsia, Dell, Motorola, IHS, First Solar, Toh Global Forwarding, JED, subsidiary of Europe Shipyard, Gurma, the largest edible food oil giants and largest in the world. Osram, EGR&D, and of course our biggest group will be Citigroup, our cream, so to say, which established the Global Financial Credit Transaction Services Center in Penang with a headcount of 1,000 employees, and they handle an annual volume of 25 million transactions with a value of 6 trillion US dollars. So if Citigroup can have a 24-hour global services center in Penang, clearly Penang has the capacity, capability, and human talent to be a global BPO hub. The SSO sector has achieved rapid growth over the years, with revenue doubling from 6.4 billion in 2009 to 12.8 billion in 2013. Malaysia has consecutively been ranked the world's third SSO destination by A.T. Kearney since 2004, after India and China. The MSC Malaysia SSO cluster contributed 5.8 billion ringgit to the nation's GDP in 2012, up by 32% from 2011. In Penang, cumulative investments for SSO companies with MSC status between the years 2009 and 2014 have reached 4 billion. Penang's SSO is providing more than 8,000 high-income jobs presently to locals, and most of them are locals because you can't find foreign workers able to handle such jobs, which serves both regional and global markets. These numbers are expected to increase by 60% in the next 2 years. And that's why there's an urgent need for a BPO prime to serve the needs of this new industry, of this new sector. The Penang State Government and PDC's vision is to enhance the third wave of development in Penang, focusing on the services sector, encompassing SSO, BPO, R&D, design and development, in ICT, advanced manufacturing, and life sciences. In other words, the key thrust is to achieve convergence in the manufacturing, services, and public sector. New industries and sectors will be established to create new synergies. I'm therefore pleased to note that the BPO Prime will provide the catalyst for the following benefits in Penang's industrial transformation. One, to create new cluster economic development in BPO, KPO, knowledge process outsourcing, as well as ITO, information technology outsourcing. Two, home to multinational companies, especially Fortune Global 500 companies and local tech companies. We have a Fortune 500 road in Batu Kawan Industrial Park, where the road that lands from the Penang Second Bridge, you see the companies by the side of the road. All of these companies are Fortune 500 companies. Most of those, of course, are in the E&E sector. We hope to have a similar Fortune Global 500 presence in BPO Prime. Can, okay. Even there, when you say you do it, so this word is born. And we know that. Estimated job creation of 4,000 high-income and quality jobs. And lastly, provision of world-class environment and ecosystem to attract investments from global companies. BPO Prime's high value-added services hub will include customer operations, data processing, back office administration, accounting, technical support, transcription, software development, IT consultancy, and disaster recovery services. And perhaps it does not include, I'll be so bold as we also add in animation industry. The BPO Prime will ensure progress on all three fronts: in economic vibrancy, livability, and sustainability, as well as social development. Hence, a major social and environmental spillover of these projects is to accelerate Penang to become a balanced society that will nurture world-class ideas, provide impetus for public-private sector participation and investment, as well as to provide the necessary public infrastructure to ensure enhancement of social welfare. And in this respect, of course, we are going full steam ahead with our 27 billion ringgit public transport master plan. In conclusion, I wish to reiterate that the state government's vision for Penang is to be a regional hub that will build upgrade, attract and retain talent. Penang can only do this by becoming an international and intelligent city. One that educates and nurtures talent, promotes and rewards diligence, expertise and entrepreneurship. A city that is livable by being clean, green, safe and healthy. And one that practices integrity, justice and people-centric good governance. This BPO Prime project, with collaboration from Temasek IDIS, will be an important benchmark and also critical step towards attracting world-class investors to Penang. We welcome you today.
Thank you. Yang Berhormat Tuan Lim Guan Eng, Chief Sign. The first agreement to be signed is the JV agreement for BPO Prime project, PC and Temasek. Can we proceed?
Okay.
Tôi reflect.
Current PDC building is a location which is very well connected and has a lot of promise. What will basically happen is the intent will be to have two office buildings go up. This is a perspective of the office building that will go up. And what will happen is that the idea is the height of the building is still being decided at this point of time, but we have approvals to take it potentially up to 140 meters, which will make it a very prominent building in that part of Penang and the southern part. What will happen is that the size of the floor plates or the area of each of the floors will be primarily catered for the shared services and IT outsourcing industry. As you may be aware, this is an industry which needs large floor plates, flexible floor plates that officers can very easily come in, use the space for either IT operations, for procurement operations, for research and development, industries that CM has already mentioned in his speech. The idea here really is that there will be security in the buildings which will fit this kind of activities. These will be sensitive, commercially relevant and commercially important activities. So security is going to be very important into and out of the buildings. As we said earlier, these are going to be grade A office spaces so that multinationals, the Fortune 500 that Chief Minister mentioned, these are not people that are going to walk into a building that doesn't have the security or doesn't have the features and functionalities that a Fortune 500 company would expect. These are facilities, the special internet connectivity and infrastructure, the redundancy in terms of electricity and other critical utilities will be also provided for the simple reason that these are the types of things that Fortune 500 companies expect when it comes to shared service activities. But beyond just the grade A office space, what is also important is to create an environment around the project which will be befitting of an icon in Penang, where you will actually create new industry around it. As I think you are familiar, in Bayan Baru today, there is no focal point for this kind of high-end activity. There are existing buildings there, but they are actually in a few separate segments. What we want to do is create an integrated living environment, working environment, playing environment that residents as well as people who are working in the building will be able to avail themselves of the facilities and be able to potentially work 24 hours a day. So this would be, 24-hour gyms, having shops that open late into the night, that people can walk in and out, and essentially, their office will be almost their home, right? So similar to what you see in San Francisco and some of the Silicon Valley locations today, you can enter in any time of the day, leave any time of the day, you can work any time of the day, play any time of the day, go to a shop any time of the day. that is the kind of living environment that we are looking for. What will happen is that people will come in, and the idea is to give it an expansive sense of arrival. When you arrive there, you realize that you're coming to a very high quality, not just a building, but a high quality location, a focal point for activities. The idea here is to have an atrium where people can gather, they can have their own activities, have their lunch, they can rest, they can talk to each other. This is an idea to basically have a floor, a space where people can walk from the ground floor very, very easily to the second floor, into the podium area. And there will be shops there. As I mentioned earlier, you want to create an environment. It cannot be like in some of the industrial parks that you go to where people just go there to work. I think that if you look at millennials, knowledge workers that we are trying to attract to come and live and work and play here, they expect that they are able to also have access, not just facilities, but also amenities that they can actually avail themselves of. There will be, we will have been talking to PDC about potentially having a front lobby where they can actually show their projects, they can bring their investors to, you can have models, scale models, and this will be right at the front, so that again, we acknowledge the fact that PDC in the current site is a very, very historically important site. So we want to give them a very historically important frontage that everybody that comes there can see and understand the work of PDC and the transformation that has been happening in Penang in the first, second, and even the third wave of development that we are moving into. So I think this is a very brief summary of the project. As CM has mentioned, we are targeting 1.6 million square feet of build-up area, potentially 3,000 to 4,000 high-quality, high-value, knowledge-based jobs, which will then really create a nice hub of activity that we can use to propel us into this third wave of growth in Penang. So,
we are very pleased with this project because my experience in Penang is since 2007. As you know, I come to Penang very often because we have a factory called Sam Malaysia on island and now in Minyak. And our total investment in Penang is about 150 million US today. We have 760 employees, and all the things we make are for the Airbus and Boeing. Right now we're shipping for the Boeing 787, all export. I just approved 4 more machines. Each machine is about $1.5 million US. High value, high access machine. So we hope to increase our manpower to over 1,000 in 1-2 years time. And our total investment will be another 50 million US. So 120 plus 50, so 170 million US. So it's very high value. And,
sorry, you talk about SAM.
Yeah, SAM,
so
yeah.
Another 170 million US dollars of reinvestment.
Reinvestment.
That will be this year or next year?
We already approved the machines. It will take about 1-2 years to come in.
So you actually approved this year.
Approved
So
this year.
170 million US.
170 million reinvestment is ringgit.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
Reinvestment is ringgit.
Okay, right. So 170 million ringgit investment.
Today our investment is already over 460 ringgit cumulative.
Now it's 460 million.
Yeah.
Plus 170, that will be 630 lah.
Yes, right.
630 million investment.
And our job in Penang or engineering, skill intensive, minimum technicians at level. And we are recruiting a lot of engineers. So I'm confident the demand for skill job in Penang would also be helped by this. Because you need to have high value engineering, and you need not be in the factory place, it could be in this facility. So you can separate the factory from the engineering design work. So we think that this is a very viable project, and I'm confident that we'll try to meet the schedule as soon as we can.
So I think so that there's no confusion. Singapore Aerospace Manufacturing is another company, another Singapore company that is now in Bunea. They have actually invested so far to date 460 million ringgit. Mr. Fihio is now announcing an additional 170 million ringgit reinvestment or expansion for SAM, Singapore Aerospace Manufacturing, SAM. That is the company that builds the parts for Boeing and Airbus. You know, so you sit in the Airbus and Boeing. Remember, some of it is built in Penang.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, so not just computer peripherals, not just your handphones, but now even your planes.
When you fly a 787, very important partner here.
Okay. So any questions on that? And we'll end this press conference, and probably we'll make future announcements later. Thank you.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, give to them.
Okay, now. Okay. Ready.